Sayward. So good morning. Thank you for joining me, Christine Barbera and Vivian Sayward. We were going to have a chat in honor of National Golf Day about Pro Kids. And I thought maybe we could start with Christina. You could tell us a little bit about what Pro Kids is and how long you've been a part of that.
Yeah, so I have been part of Pro Kids for C San Diego since November of 2023. So over a little over a year and a half now, and I just love it here. Pro Kids First Tee is we're a nonprofit organization that uses golf as a tool to empower our members, kids in City Heights and in Oceanside, regardless of their financial background, while also supporting them academically from 7 years old all the way to college. So you really see our members grow up. I've only been here for a year and a half, and I already know of a lot of the kids and just knowing their background, their stories. Some of them went to college last year, and it's just really knowing and then coming back for this year to help us out with our Celebrate Scala on June 14th. And them coming back and asking, Miss Christine, what can we help you with? So it's really nice. I love Pro Kids.
That's awesome. You mentioned that you help them out academically. Can you say more about that? I didn't realize that there was more happening than just golf.
Yeah, so we're also an after-school program. We have a learning center in conjunction to our golf classes. So we have three classrooms, one for elementary, middle school, and high school. So we help them with tutoring, any homework help. Every Wednesday here at City Heights, we have cooking classes. We also do field trips all throughout San Diego, whether it's with a partner, an organization. I believe last year and this upcoming summer camp, we visited the San Diego Gas and Electric company, and then we visited Callaway. So our kids really get to dabble into different organizations that we partner up with so they can have different touches of, we're not just golf, we're also encouraging our kids to touch point a lot of the different industries that San Diego can offer.
Yeah, yeah. I want to add on that too because so I've been part of Pro Kids when I joined Hera Hub many years at the beginning, way back when I had started a sportswear line and I was in golf for women because I couldn't find anything to wear and I was just really annoyed with that and I hated the way it was being marketed or not marketed to women. So, and thanks to Hera Hub, I was able to find my designer, and this is with no background in finance and fashion or anything like that. My business partner, everything, just set up everything in with at Hera Hub. But I was already looking for something to give back to. I'm a daughter of immigrants, first generation, first generation here in college in US and everything else. So, I stumbled upon Pro Kids First Tee. And this is even before I started selling my first piece of clothing. And I just fell in love with the organization. I mean, everything that they do for kids, um, just interacting with the kids, the lessons that they learn on the golf course about gaining confidence, etiquette, discipline. It just translates throughout. And I've been either a supporter or I've been a board member now for over 8 years. And I've seen the kids grow up to Christine's point, and it's amazing to see them as 7 year olds just going out there and then playing with them on big courses, and they teaching me. I'm not I stumble along the golf course, but they teaching me and learning so much from them. It's really really awesome to see that. The city, I will say, City Heights and Oceanside to certain as well. There's large immigrant communities there, and obviously Oceanside has the military community as well. So there's a lot of opportunities that we're providing to kids from those areas, which makes it really really amazing.
I feel like I have to ask this question
Hmm.
around privilege. So golf
Mm.
has been kind of
Hmm.
maybe it's got a rap for being for people with money. It's a privileged sport. It's equipment heavy. It's there's a lot of private courses or courses that cost money for people to go to. What is your experience around kind of this concept of privilege and working
Mhm.
with or in pro kids? Is it bridging a gap? Is it connecting two different types of people? What's happening in the world of kind of like privilege and access to a sport that's usually a little bit, I think, more
Yeah.
reserved for a different type of person?
Yeah. Do you want to take that on, Christine, or?
Yeah, yeah. So the reason why we were founded was because we want to bridge that gap between kids in the City Heights neighborhood, in the Oceanside neighborhood, and give them this opportunity. Melissa, like what you said, golf is not an inexpensive sport. It's a very expensive sport. And we want to make sure that our kids have access and have the equipments and have the tools to really succeed as someone who has been privileged to have this opportunity. You know, we have our kids here at Colina Park and or at City Heights in our Oceanside campus. We have equipments that we provide to our kids, and we also have a generous donors that do provide us with golf clubs, clothes, and we are able to provide all of these things to our kids to really give them that leg up in a sport that can give them a lot back.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the whole founding of Pro Kids started with Ernie Wright. He played for the Chargers, and after he retired, he wanted to give back to the community, and he wasn't quite sure how, the community where he raised his family here in San Diego. And he played golf from a young age. And being a black man in the Midwest, when he grew up in the 50s, he wasn't able to, the courses that he caddied at, he wasn't able to play at. So, he didn't want that happening again. So he worked with the city of San Diego to lease out Colina Park, which is in City Heights, and it had been an area that had been needed a lot of help. There was a lot of gang related issues, et cetera, et cetera. He worked with the city to create this amazing little 18-hole golf course there where the kids play there. He helped to build the buildings that house, staff, these academics and learning centers, all these different he worked with everyone from Callaway and other local businesses to help support and build this out. So it's thanks to him, 30 some years later, here we are with two locations. And because of the way he built this out, it gained notice of the PGA because they were looking to do a philanthropic side. So they took this example in San Diego and created the first tee of San Diego, and now our first tee program, I should say, nationally. And now Pro Kids is under that program as well. We decided, we'll go underneath the PGA from that standpoint. Ernie made that wise decision, but it really stems from him and his vision.
That's amazing. And
Mhm.
yeah, a really smart choice, right? To then you're like,
Sure.
we've got the attention of this huge group. Now let's work with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe
Hmm.
this is a quicker question. How much interface time do they get with the more philanthropic supporters? And is that on the course, right? Do the kids get
Hmm.
to play with the people that are monetarily supporting them, right? Do they get to see that?
Yes, there's definitely opportunities. We have a tournament called Home and Home. And this is where our director of golf, Curtis Burkhead, he does an amazing job with really connecting Pro Kids First Tee with the community. So we partner up with the Crosby, with the San Diego Country Club, the farms. So he connects us with all of the donors and the community. And what we do is they play 18 holes at Colina Park, and then they also play 18 holes, 9 or 18 holes at their respective country clubs. So they do have the opportunity to play with our donors. So there's a foursome, and then with every foursome, there's usually one or two of our members. And what is great about this is because we are teaching our members the life skills of how to communicate with adults, and how to communicate yourself, and how to really engage with them and get to know them, say Miss, Mrs., and really giving that the I don't know how to the respect. That's it. The respect that each of them really gives.
Yeah, the interactions you have with the kids because of learning through golf and everything else and having these experiences early on, even. I mean, they, it's a child, young child, young children, who are like looking you in the eye, shaking your hand, asking you questions, interacting, engaging. It's really, really amazing, and what a skill set to have so young and to continue on from that standpoint. And, and in situations that could be really intimidating, for goodness sakes, Um, I think, Melissa, to your point as well, having donors play with the kids at the course where the kids play is huge too, because those donors see exactly what they're outside of their bubbles. Let's just put it plainly. And I think that really encourages them, and they see where these kids sometimes, and some of the stories of some of the kids, as Christine says, no one looks, there's a lot of kids on scholarship. Obviously, there's some families pay as much as they can for the kids to participate in this program, but of course, there's a lot of kids on under scholarship, and they appreciate it too. So there's a lot of programming with that as far as the kids have to earn certain privileges, including playing on the course and other things as well. So there's a whole different program. There's a whole programming behind all that as well. So really, really important.
And I want to just touch base on how dedicated our supporters are and donors. They become mentors to our
Mhm.
kids.
Mhm.
Some of them, they have interned for their respective companies. Some of them, they've given them advice. Some of them have actually been to or attended their weddings. So the fact that this is Pro Kids First Tee is becoming more than just an organization. It's becoming a second home to a lot of our kids too.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a really beautiful image. I'm glad that the relationship is reciprocal in that way.
Hmm.
That it's like, yeah, come and play on the course where they're playing. Like
Right,
that's
right.
but then also this opportunity for these younger people to be surrounded with a different type of energy or lifestyle or
Hmm.
even mindset, right? That can
Hmm.
be really invigorating. It can be really important to be able to think in different ways, to be able to interact with different types of people. And I always feel like when we have those interactions, it makes us better. It makes us better people.
Agreed.
We are more dynamic. We have more tools and more skill sets. And I mean, plainly, golf is a game of etiquette as
Yeah,
well. I did grow up playing a little bit of golf. I
I remember you mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah, I did have the privilege of being able to learn. I was a little bit tricked into learning. I played softball, so it wasn't a hard shift to try to just change my swing and figure out how to play golf. But my parents said if I wanted my driver's license, that I had to go to golf camp with my brother and my nephew. I said, "Oh, you got to be kidding me." So I'm one of, a handful of girls. I'm like one of the oldest ones there. But it was a lot of fun to learn technically, how my body was working with the equipment and to be surrounded by younger people and learning the sport instead of, just hanging out with my stepdad and maybe some of his friends. But then once I got those skills, I was more confident to go out and play
Hmm.
with my stepdad. Then I also had to change my wardrobe because my shorts were too short, right? And my shirt needed a collar. There were little things that like I had to adapt to, but I felt like it was me saying, okay, like I will join this world. I will play in this way and see what happens. Like I'm going
Hmm.
to put on the uniform and go participate. But I really got to step into like a feeling of being an athlete in those moments. And while I didn't play all that often, I've had one birdie in my life, and I was very excited about that one birdie.
Yay.
I went from maybe playing once a month to maybe playing once a year to it's been many years, and I would love to
Yeah.
play. But I'll kind of wrap up with this general question. Why should more people play golf?
I can answer that first. So I
Yeah.
have been gifted my first set of clubs. I believe that was maybe 12 years ago, but this was a
Mhm.
hand-me-down from uh a previous boss of mine. And to me, at first, I'm like, oh, golf, I've never played golf before, I've never touched clubs before, but sure, why not? But the more I got to really understand and play the game, it just really teaches me patience. It really teaches me that it's more of like a conversation with the people that you're playing with too, and it's more mental. And I feel like sometimes you are, and this is just me as a working adult, and sometimes it's your escape from your reality and you are just trying to be you're just trying to progress. And to me, that's how I am, and that's how I see these kids too. And sometimes I like my office is right outside of the ninth hole, and you hear these kids like, man, I can't believe you did that, I'm gonna try to beat you. So things like that, it just the competition and these kids, how they just want to level up and progress, it's really uplifting to hear. And the dedication and um, the the difference that we've made in these kids in their lives, because some of these kids they help out their parents, they support their parents, and some of these parents, they are supporting not one kid, they're also supporting four other children. So the fact that golf is here for them and Pro Kids First Tee is here for them really just melts my heart, and I just want to take all of them home with me.
I will add to that too. So I started, I think, listening to this story, but I started golf because my husband, he grew up playing golf. And I was my background is I was a competitive swimmer. I've been a runner. I used to do a lot of distance running. And what I enjoyed about the distance running and swimming actually was the mental aspect of it, believe it or not. Getting through that marathon, getting through those trail runs, getting through swimming 1,000 yards in a race, because I always did distance for some reason. And then I ended up with a guy who loves to play golf and does not swim like I do or run like I do. So we like met halfway. So I started playing golf and I never thought I had eye-hand coordination. I kind of avoided those sports for whatever reason, not sure why, but I did. And I realized, okay, as an adult, learning this game, it's extremely humbling, but at the same time, it's really mental. And so I find that really interesting and fascinating. And I think I will go back to Pro Kids First Tee because if you go to any the course in the Kalina Park in City Heights, as well as there's a 6-hole course in Oceanside. There's all these different at each hole, there's like a different value, honesty, integrity, and at each hole. And it's and that's what it's all about. I mean, um, if you're playing well, and I say it in the sense of that you're honest about your score. There's going to be ups and downs, and that's life. So how you manage that is really what says a lot about you. And I always, I talk to my husband and others, you talk about how you know people when you're playing 18 holes with them. You get to really know them. And I think that's really telling. So I find that really interesting. And I think to me, it's a game like for me, swimming and others, it's not a game, but that I'll be doing for the rest of my life.
Yeah. That's a really great point. I think I learned a lot about myself out on the golf
Hmm.
course. My stepdad definitely learned a lot about me out there.
Yeah.
But my brother and I as well. I mean, we really approached it differently, and you can see that in how we live our life.
Hmm.
Oh man, I was so tempted a few times to just write a different score down because I couldn't keep up with the guys for a while. They had been playing longer than I would.
Sure.
They went out more often together. The girls would stay home and the guys would go out. And to this day, that's still a thing, and I'm still mad at them about it. But
Hmm.
it's now like, hey, Melissa, I'll take you out tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, right.
Hmm.
I have my turn, please. Um, so yeah, we did learn a lot about each other, and we did learn how to make it fun and what areas, you know, we can really help each other and support each other, and then what really is just about us working with ourselves and
Right.
those pieces that you have to do on your own.
Hmm.
Are there any
Absolutely.
other questions or questions I should have asked or comments that you have that you'd like to share as we finish this chat?
Christine, do you want to say anything about, celebrates or the
Oh, yes.
upcoming women's golf tournament? How's that?
And
Uh,
definitely how we can get a hold of you guys and what more we can, you know, how do
Right.
we learn more? You can share
Yeah.
that as
Hmm.
Yes, so you can find all of our events and more information about Pro Kids First Tee at thefirsttsandiego.org. But I do want to invite everybody that we have our fundraising gala, our Celebrates Gala on June 14th, Saturday, June 14th at the Hilton La Jolla Torrey Pines. And then we also have upcoming up, I'll just mention all of our events.
Yeah.
Our Pro Kids Golf Invitational, it will be on September 8th at the San Diego Country Club. And our second women's golf tournament, I think this is my favorite, by far my favorite event for Pro Kids because it's all about women empowerment. It's all about our female golfers and where we partner them up with women from different industry, and that's where they get to know. And I feel we're already at around 40% of female members, and we just want to keep increasing that. And
Mhm.
that's on Saturday, October 18th here at Colina Park Golf Course.
Yeah. And I think it's a Halloween theme as well,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
So
So everybody
yeah,
gets to dress up. I think this will
that's
be our women's golf tournament. It's just so fun and really engaging, and the the look on all of our female golfers' face when they said, "Oh, I got an internship through that," or I'm getting to know these people and I'm looking into going into being a lawyer, being an engineer, and it's just very heartwarming to see that we really do give these opportunities to our members.
yeah. Yeah. And I just want to say, Pro Kids, I mean, First Tee, I mean, you've seen Christine, but I mean, the staff there is just, they're there for a reason. It's not to make quite honestly, big bucks or, I mean, it's really, they have a relationship with these kids. They're encouraging, they're supportive. They're always thinking of new ways of how to really increase their impact in a positive way for these kids. So.
Oh, well, thank you both for chatting with me. This has been really inspiring. Now I want to go play, of course. So Vivian will
We'll
be.
have to, so we'll have to invite you over. Melissa, you and I will go down there and
Yeah,
play. How's
that
that?
would be
And
great. That
just,
would be fun.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's do it.
It's
Okay.
been so long. I would need to get out there and
Okay.
swing clubs. So
Oh, yeah. No problem.
awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you guys.